Hi everyone, it's Coach Boots here, and tonight I wanted to share my evening routine. So it's Friday night, I put in a full day of work, then I had to run some errands, which I did on foot. That's one thing I really like about being out here in Colorado. Everyone walks around Glenwood Springs, it's great. So I walked over to the post office to request my absentee ballot form. So I ended up doing 7 miles of a hike, if you will, around town. I also went and checked out the town square, and on the way I stopped to check out the community center, which is right next door. So it's an amazing gym. I've been wanting to get back into swimming. It's got a full-size Olympic pool, rock wall, what else? It's got spin classes included, Latin dance class. I have been dying to take a Latin dance class forever, but the problem is I'm on the road all the time, so I can't commit. I haven't found gyms that offer them back east, but out here in the West, there's so much of a Hispanic population that it makes sense. Some other classes, boot camp, I think I mentioned spinning, but just in case, spinning, obviously cardio room, there's an indoor track, so $300 to join for 6 months. So I am in, and that's kind of my thing that excites me most about being out here. I'm a little nervous about training on the roads in the winter, although one of my colleagues does ride her bike to work in all weather out here. But for me, having that gym right next door will be great. So again, a busy, busy day, great day, however. So one of the things that I do, I have trouble sleeping. So when I get home around 6, 7, or 8, I actually close the blinds right away. And this helps my body adjust to less light, which starts to kind of signal to me that we need to tone it down and get ready for bed. I'm also going to share with you a quick recipe for a healthy dinner. So again, just got home. I'm quite hungry. I forget if I mentioned I did a 3-mile run after my hike. So I've burnt a lot of calories today, ready to refuel, and I've been craving Italian food. But I wanted to make my Italian dish healthy. So I got this bean pasta. I don't know if you guys can see it. Maybe that's a little better. It is by Modern Table Meals confetti bean pasta. So it's made solely from bean flour. And I actually picked this one out because I have always loved the colors of the noodles. So Trader Joe's also makes a black bean pasta. You can get that as well. I've never had it before, but I'm going to try it tonight for the first time. So again, I wanted to make a healthy meal. Having this will help me cut down on refined carbs because beans are quality carbs and they contain protein as well. So it'll be a nice, nutritious meal. I've taken the liberty of starting to boil the water and heating the pan. So what I'm going to be making is, I guess, a pasta primavera. So these noodles combined with spinach, mushrooms, onion, broccoli, zucchini. I have both a yellow zucchini and a green zucchini to keep it interesting. I forget if I mentioned mushrooms. There will be mushrooms in there. Super greens in there. And instead of using tomato sauce, because tomatoes actually contain a lot of sugar, I like to chop up one grape tomato. So I have a grape tomato that I'll be using. Then I'll sprinkle some cheese on top, and it should be great. And it's a quick meal, so you're going to be able to watch me make it right now. So also, I'll be cooking the vegetables with this oil. It's just extra virgin olive oil, but it comes in a tiny container. So for those of you who travel a lot, this is what I like to get rather than a spray that contains extra chemicals. So I'm just going to do about a tablespoon, maybe a little less, in my pan there. And because I don't have the spray, I just pick up the pan and kind of swirl it around, hold it as the oil drips, and make sure that it gets everywhere. Now, I've mentioned in the past, but I like cooking. I don't understand how people can't like it, but I know a lot of people don't. For me, it's my opportunity to be creative. So this is just another recipe that I made up off the top of my head. I've done similar things in the past back home, and Katie and Keith, my sister and brother-in-law, always get jealous because it comes out looking so good. I've also just pre-chopped a little bit of onion. So I'm going to put that into the pan first. Onion needs to cook longer than most of your other vegetables. So again, my pan is preheated. I'll put my onion in, and then I'll start chopping the other things. I add my vegetables in order of firmest to lightest. I find that things are things that are firmer need to cook longer. So I'm gonna cut, there's 5 servings in that bag of pasta. So I'm gonna cut, I don't know, try to do a 5th, but the zucchini isn't all that large. So I'm gonna cut about a 5th of zucchini. I'm gonna cut it up into really small pieces. And actually, I think I'm going to just go ahead and use 1/3 of my zucchini. I honestly think that if I eat the same pasta 4 or 5 nights in a row, I'll get really sick of it. Plus, we are going out to Italian on Wednesday to celebrate one of my teammates' contracts ending. So I think what I'll do is save that pasta. Well, I guess I was going to say save it till next week, but I actually won't be here next week. I'll be working remotely. But yeah, we'll see. Suppose I can throw it in a jar and leave it here for a little while. Luckily, I always have my mason jars on hand. So yeah, I'm going to do about 1/5 of my yellow zucchini or summer squash, 1/5 of my green. Meanwhile, I am keeping my eye on those onions, and what I'm waiting for is them to start to turn a light brown color. I want to keep in mind that throughout the rest of my cooking, they will continue to cook as I add the additional vegetables. So I don't actually need to cook them all the way now. And I'm just going to wrap up these 2 extra zucchini, or the rest of those extra zucchini, put them in the fridge, and I like to try and make single serve meals. Well, actually wrong. I like to cook in bulk. I like to do a lot of food prep so that I can just microwave things when I get home. However, I'm limited with space in this kitchen. So I have 1 large burner and 1 small one. So there wasn't room to cook the pasta in bulk. So I'm a little bit limited there. I'm actually cooking a single portion right now. Okay, so my zucchini are ready. However, my mushrooms aren't quite heated yet. I'm sorry, my onions aren't quite heated yet. Meanwhile, I'm going to start on my mushrooms. So I always wash my mushrooms. What I'm going to do is take probably about 4 or 5 mushrooms. Actually, you know what? Let's do 6. This is a rather large package, and mushrooms are so good. They are my special ingredient. I just love the way grilled mushrooms taste in my meals. So 6 mushrooms. I just wash these. I get my fingers in there. I eyeball. Mushrooms obviously grow in the ground, so I'm making sure that I am getting all of the dirt off of my mushrooms. Back home, we keep a thing of Trader Joe's vegetable wash on the counter. So back home, I have my scrub brush, and I would scrub more thoroughly. But again, I'm limited in my traveling situations. So mushrooms are easy. Just wrap that back up. Throw it right back in the fridge. Those onions smell so good. If you've ever cooked with onions, but especially mushrooms and onions, God, the pungent smell is so delicious in my opinion. Okay, so now I'm going to chop my mushrooms. I think my onions are just about getting there. You'll notice I just gave them a quick stir to keep them cooking. And yeah, like I said, I'm totally making this recipe up off the top of my head. I did pre-consider which vegetables should go in there. But even as I'm doing it, I'm debating, should I put broccoli in first or mushrooms in first? Ultimately, it doesn't matter all that much. I think those 2 are about, set that on the floor, 5-second roll with a little water. I think those 2 are about the same consistency, so they'll probably take about the same amount of time to cook. My broccoli is pre-chopped, so just this and the tomato that remains to be chopped. I also, I had started boiling my water, so I have my small pot heating the water for the pasta on the back burner, and I've pre-measured out the pasta. It looks like it's actually ready to go in, so I'm just gonna pour that pasta in there. You gotta be careful on the serving sizes of the pasta. Actually, 2/3 of a cup is the proper portion. So I measured that out to make sure I'm on par and getting proper portions. I wish I had a bag or clip. Sadly, I do not. So I'm just gonna, my trick when traveling is I fold things over and I'll put it like in the side of the cabinet like this to kind of hold it shut. For the most part, I'm in a place for only a few days at a time. So my food doesn't really have too much time to go bad or for animals to get into it or anything. So I'm going to turn on my timer for 10 minutes for the pasta. We are ready to add that zucchini. So I'm going to throw that in. Also, you could add a bit more oil as you add the additional vegetables. However, my pan is non-stick, and it looks pretty good right now, but I'll continue to keep an eye on it. Like I said, I have my broccoli. I actually bought pre-portioned. That's very rare for me. I usually will buy, no, actually, I guess broccoli I do get pre-portioned. Most other vegetables, so I buy whole, like I did with the zucchini. You can save a lot of money by doing it that way. Obviously, there is also zucchini pre-chopped. Again, I opted not to do that because I try and save money. Broccoli, though, the stem is actually the best part for you, but I grew up not eating it, so I guess I still have a slight aversion to it, and I just, for whatever reason, in my head, find it easier to buy pre-chopped broccoli. Again, usually not in one of those plastic containers, but in those little bags that they have in the produce section. I have my grape tomato. So this is going to be my sauce. It's going to be, again, because it's lower sugar. You know what I was thinking as I was going along is that this would be great. I should have bought a little bit of basil or fresh parsley to put in it. That'll be so good. But I'm going to use my grape tomato by itself tonight. So I also want to wash my tomato again, just using my hands to get any chemicals or any dirt off of it. Just gonna dry it a bit. Because tomatoes are quite liquidy and I still have my mushrooms on my plate, I am going to leave that tomato till I'm ready. So what I'm gonna do now, I'm actually gonna pause in the broadcast because I don't think anyone wants to sit for 10 minutes of silence and watch me cook my vegetables. So time how long it takes. I have the zucchini and onions in there already. The mushrooms will go in shortly. Broccoli will go in with the mushrooms. Probably, it usually takes, I don't know, 3 or 4 minutes for each vegetable to cook, 3 or 4 minutes before I add the next batch. So once the mushrooms and broccoli are done, spinach will go in. Again, spinach cooks very, very quickly, so you want to add it last. And so I'll add that. And then finally, I'll add my tomatoes to give it that sauce flavor. So I'm just going to pause for now, and I will be back shortly. Again, also keeping an eye on that pasta. That's going to cook for 10 minutes as well. So it works out time-wise. This is a quick dinner to make. Takes about 15 minutes. Okay. Be back soon.